So hello guys, Sendou here again. Today I want to make another analysis video, and there was quite a big tournament again last weekend, or rather the second day for it. And Rise of the Sharks by Ink TV, and once again thanks to Ink TV for letting me use the footage. And this time it's Saikai versus Foreskin team. Okay, this is the team that they called themselves Foreskin team, but basically it's STDx. I mean, the same players, as far as I know, played in Platinum Cup earlier that day, and that's called STDx then. And I think when they played the groups, it was Bran, Machin, Hexen, and Kyber, and that was just two STDx members. But in the finals, it was Penguin instead of Bran, so it was a bit more STDx comp. So I'm just gonna call it STDx. I think that's more natural. And yeah, again, I'd like to pause when there's something important happening, or like if I want to talk about something specific, or maybe replay some parts if I see it necessary. But yeah, just to start it with, I'd like to pause when they show the weapon selection. So to go over the players. Shaq, who mostly plays T-Tech, I think, Splattershot T-Tech. First he plays Nozzle Noses, mostly played L3 for this tournament, which is really a strong weapon now obviously, so Burst is doing really well at the moment. Cheap plays brushes basically, that's it, like competitively. Brandon, Slossers, mainly Sloshing Machine, also the Rice Slosser sometimes. Sloppy Joe, aka Penguin, as far as I know, plays Slossers in this game. Like, you may know him as a range blaster main, but he used to play a lot of Slossers, even like late hours of Splatoon 1. Machin, Rabbit Bro mostly, also some other blasters, but I think mostly Rabbit and Rabbit Bro for this tournament. Kyber, Splattershot, basically on Splattershot at the moment, and Hexen, who plays pretty wide variety of weapons, Aerospray, Junior, Splattershot. He plays a lot of weapons. Basically, he's the player who like chooses the weapon to fit the comp, because like rest of the players on STDx don't really tend to flex around a lot, but Hexen like fills in the blank. And for Saikai, you don't see like same kind of like, there's not same kind of like flex player who would go like Aerospray if needed. And yeah, we'll see. Also, like another thing I want to talk about quickly is the abilities, because I don't know, there's some pretty weird stuff here if you like take a look, like really like start looking. Opening Gambit, Brush. So opening Gambit was nerfed for this game as far as I know, and even Moray is not really necessarily the primary suspect for opening Gambit. I guess the idea here is to get like sooner to middle, maybe get the first pop, but like I think they would either get it like the thing is, first pop is that it's less like dependent on opening Gambit and stuff like that. It's more dependent on the weapons you're running. Like if the opponent has Charger, for example, that's gonna pop really fast. Or if they have bombs, that's gonna, you know, again help a lot in popping it. So I don't know, like if it's just the best choice, but maybe he has some idea. And Drop Roller, again, you never basically see it, so you might be able to catch some people like surprised with this. But again, I guess a good team, I can't really personally see it working that well, because yeah, you can do the roll and so on, but like more than likely there's something like Rabbit Pro waiting for you, and you're gonna die regardless, or like Sloshing Machine isn't gonna matter. And like one thing that STDx really like in this tournament was Ninja Squid. You see like 3 of their members running Ninja Squid, which is pretty like significant, or like even surprising, because it's not something that personally was on my like radar as something like really strong, especially for Moray. Like, think about how Ninja Squid works. If you drop down, it doesn't really help you in that, so it only works in the, you know, the when there's no like many ramps or drops or anything like that. So it's typically used in Port and Galpdome and maps like that, which are more flat. But here we have everyone but Hexen running it, Yeah, I know Merchin likes it, but it's pretty surprising to see Kyber and Penguin run it as well. But I can talk about it at a later time as well because I think they keep using it. Oh, I thought it was Rainmaker. Well, my bad. Well, it's kind of like the same principle anyway. You opening gambit maybe to get the middle first, but you don't really. I think you have chip here like on the snipe throwing, so I don't really know how much opening gambit is doing for because the opening gambit runs out now. Like now it's over, so I don't know what he like managed to do in that time. Basically, just meant to snipe and throws out the bombs as far as I can see. And I think like weapon wise it makes sense why STDx got the first like advantage on this map. And the kind of rollout they do when they push is kind of like same that we did with Olive, with Rabbit on tower, where you can easily get a good reach on many places, especially on this map. And then other players kind of like pushing forward, I guess, in this scenario, Sloshing Machine and Splatter Shot with Aerospray and like inking and getting ball or stuff like that. Personally, I don't see too many like Aerospray usage on tower control. I don't necessarily think it's the best weapon for tower control personally because ball is not as strong, I don't think. But I think like most like what Hexen is thinking here is that try to get some kind of weapon that puts a lot of ink on the ground because it's gonna be really good against Saikai's comp. They run a lot of like short range. It's really like brass and stuff struggle a lot when you actually ink the whole ground very well. And of course they run a lot of mini squids, so it helps. It's very helpful for them to have a really good ink control as well. I think like overall it's easier to see what's going on thanks to the nice map screen on the bottom right screen. So I'll also try to take a look at that. Again, like Sag is doing a really nice job, like pushing ahead here. But at the same time, like his teammate is got a nice kill on the bowler here. But his teammate, like, it's a kind of mode like if you are pushing ahead, then yeah, that's all good. But if your teammates are not in a position to take advantage of your like push, then it's not really helpful. Like right now, they really do get the kind of push of the I think triple that Chuck got. And yeah, like typically like in this case I feel like it's more helpful to come back and help your team because your team is clearly not like doing well like behind you, and help your teammate win the team fights and so on. And when you have get an advantage together, then you make a push. Like right now they are up a player, so now it could be a good chance for Zach or someone to push the snipe, or like now even better chance. But I think like overall there's like many weapons that are really good at like pushing ahead with Saikai's team comp. Like even the Brass here, pretty good at this spot where they are now. But yeah, like I think Rabbit is really good choice against the kind of weapons that Saikai runs. You can see like the brush isn't doing so hot here. Basically like stranded here alone. So and it ends up really just like watching there forever and then finally gets picked out. Again, like not really like crazy good pushes for either team yet. So like the first push that STDx got was like pretty much free. Like 50 points is pretty much free on this stage, and now this one is more like a proper push. But I feel like STDx is working better as a team still. Like they like when they push ahead, it's of advantage. It's not necessarily like one player and really not with no kind of plan and just just going forward because that's what you're supposed to do. But instead, like they get one advantage and then they have one player pushing ahead, and I think like that's something they did a lot better in this match compared to Saikai. It's probably also like helped them get pretty convincing win here. Baller on tower, yeah. Well, I talked about last time as well about the analysis. It's still like okay, it's not the worst thing ever, especially now, but you know, it's still not a strat, or so to speak. Yeah, like I said, pretty convincing win from STDx, and yeah, you can see the weapon rollouts. Okay, Shaq. Okay, so it was a double. Now we know, but yeah, I don't know. Like personally, like what I want to see more from Saikai in this match is more like working together. They don't have the same kind of thing than STDx got going with Rabbit, where Rabbit gets like couple hits in, and then you have a Splatter Shot and Saucing Machine finishing, because like most of these weapons are, you know, designed to, you know, work alone, I'd say. Because for me, like Rabbit, how I understand it is that you like work together with your teammates and you get like a lot of assist and stuff. And I don't see like Ace 3 is not really that. Maybe like 7 missiles, that's quite a bit, but it's, you know, it's not the same thing. And overall getting pretty heavily outkilled, which makes sense. Like overall, like you can see the aerospray, like the effect it has on the map. Like I don't think it was very like brief moment that Saikai had a superior ink control to STDx. So that's definitely always like something to consider when you look at the weapons. And yeah, pretty much same idea with the combos. Okay, L3 now from Bursty, which is the weapon he played most for this tournament, from what I saw. Respawn Punisher Brush. Okay, this is pretty interesting to say at least. Personally, I'm not a huge fan, you know, because. But if you don't know Respawn Punisher, when you die, you take longer to respawn, and also your special goes away a bit more. But also the same applies to everyone you kill. So typically it's used by snipers and people who like have clearly like a positive KD. And Brush, yeah, you can, if you like dominate the enemy, then you can definitely have a positive KD, but it's not as likely. And here you have it again, like 3 Ninja Squids, especially on map like this. Okay, how Ninja Squid works is that it's very good against teams that aren't very like coordinated, or like don't have a discipline in their gameplay. Which means that the callouts might be lacking, or like, you know, they don't keep like lane control, which means like in control on the lanes, which means their Ninja Squids like, you know, keep rolling in. And overall, like I think pretty much like in every game, STDx has more like potent inking weapons. Because even Rapid, like think about it, like you wouldn't normally think that Rapid thinks a lot, but the bomb rush is really huge at getting like fast ink control on the map, and so on. So that's definitely interesting thing, but I'll just talk about it again a bit later, so we don't spend too much time. Host again, like pretty interesting. Like it looked like Saiga was like right away getting pushed in. Like STDx got the first pop, which again, like I explained, mostly depends on your weapons. And already you can see like Saiga is kind of getting pushed in here. Especially now, like you see Machin has the bomber as he used it here. Like you saw it in the upper bar. Okay, that's personally something I'm not a huge fan of, like bombers usage like that. Because, you know, they could already like do pretty much a game-winning push at that point. If they have someone like pick up the Rainmaker, they drive it as fast as they can, like or as far as they can. Hopefully at the entrance to their base, basically to the streets, little like lanes that go to their base. And then you have a matching bomber stat, and it's like instant, really a good push, even if not a game-winning push. But I think he used it at something else there, and they didn't really they didn't really start their push early enough. I think like they hesitated too long to pick up the Rainmaker, which means they didn't get a good push that they could have. But like you can see like a difference when Saikai pushes up. They don't really. It's the you don't see like same kind of like inking you see with STDx. I think mostly they just, you know, go for it. Like they just, you know, focus the objective above all else, and don't really do same kind of thinking. But it's kind of like counterproductive with the weapons they run sometimes. Like Brush, it's, you know, it's not as good if you don't have like really good map control. And especially against Rabbit, like Rabbit just normally like destroys Brush if the map control is in the Rabbit's favor. again, like you can see like STDx getting the advantage here, but they try to do the sponge push a lot for some reason. This is whatever. Like I always call it like sponge push, but which means like you go over the sponge, you go to the snipe, and then you push ahead. But like what I want to see more from them was maybe push to the streets directly. Because while this is like a good push to make, you also can think of like what their weapons are and where they could. So something like a sloshing machine and brush. It's really easy for them to lock down that snipe, and you know, it's pretty good push like through the street. Like, you can see like Saikai is doing pushing through the streets. Looks like Shaq is kind of like the objective man here, but yeah, I think like generally I've seen better results sometimes going just through the street, but it definitely depends on what kind of weapons they have. And again, like Yuji Machin has a bomb rush, so like I explained, this is definitely the chance for any kind of team to make a good push, because you don't even have to get the Rainmaker that far. If he just suicides it now, like swims directly to the left lane, Machin bomb rush the Rainmaker, he can get almost full map control on their court, which is really good position for them to continue push. He probably gets kills too. Instead, they kind of like drive the Rainmaker to a really bad spot. Like that is probably one of the worst spots you can take the Rainmaker to. Really, like honestly, like they could probably like gambit here like forever. And like I explained, this is really good for Brass and the Machine to, you know, really lock this area down. And I believe that's the game plan here too, because 28 is already a pretty respectable push on this stage, this map. And you know, you can see like Stingray, of course, is like incredible here, especially when you know they have to push in. You know that they can stay back. And here, for some reason, I guess they pop it, which is, I don't understand why, because if you leave it unpopped, it's not gonna reset same time. And again, like I think like Saikai is kind of like giving STDx a chance here for no reason. Like they could have really easily, like if they played it a bit smarter or like so on, I think they could have like locked it down now. But now it's kind of like still, you know, STDx still has a chance to get back maybe. Actually, like now I see about the Rainmaker, that's a pretty good spot for the Rainmaker. But then again, like I can see how it resets now. Yeah, it's a pretty good spot to take the Rainmaker to, but it's much easier to like break the shield, which means it resets, and that's not as good. And now you can see like Matching going for the sponge push again, like first instinct. But again, like it's shut down pretty fast. You can see like STDx has the Stingray ready, which is really strong even when pushing. I think like with Stingray they could definitely make a push for, but I don't know if Penguin is in position to use it. Yeah, now he uses it, but the position is not maybe the best. I don't know if he can do much with it. And again, like when the game goes like this, you not really often like have a chance anymore, because you know they start getting specials and they start pushing in. So Saikai gets the win from this. Personally, I wasn't too impressed with the objective play by STDx on this match for the reasons I explained before, and I think Saikai really used the chances given to them pretty well, and I think that was the reason they won the game. You see, like Shaq doesn't really get much skills for Saikai, like in the map result screen. But Saikai, I mean Shaq, you see play a lot more objective aspects in Rainmaker, so it's like pretty natural things to do sometimes. Splatoon, which I know STDx likes the best, I believe. At least Hexen likes it. Maybe the rest of the team agrees or disagrees, I don't know. So again, Ninja Squid. Okay, like I explained, Port, Dome, those are the best maps for Ninja Squid for sure. And again, like these pretty weird choices. Again, Respawn Punisher, Opening Gambit, I explained this before. Other than that, pretty standard stuff. I'm pretty surprised to see Brandon switch from Sloshing Machine, because I think Stingray is pretty good here. Like I explained, it's flat map, so it's very nice for Stingrays. And you know, all the bomb shells are pretty nice to throw on the, you know, the box here. Which helps them not to camp it so much, but maybe he likes Trislaughter, which is really good at holding top mid. I could see that. Ink Armor, they do have like Jet, so Ink Armor Jet is of course very powerful combination, and also Spatty Shot. So I could see like both weapons. Personally, I would have maybe like went for Sloshing Machine, but I can definitely see this choice as well. And Machine again, Rabbit Pro. Rabbit Pro and Rabbit, it's kind of like your preference. Personally, I agree, like Bombers is not really the best here. And the extra reads made possible by Rabbit Pro is really nice sometimes, because like common start for me is that I take the ramp here and I start going like to these crates here. And typically what the problem is that there's one guy here who can be like snipers against some teams and something else. So this guy here, and I always feel like I could do a bit more range to deal with these guys. And also the spawns is around this part, and the guys hiding behind the spawns, so you don't really have to like go so much forward. So I could definitely see like Rabbit Pro for this stage. And Rain Cloud is pretty nice. It's pretty hard to ink the whole zone. Rain Cloud is pretty nice at helping to be annoying on the zone, so to speak. And just going back just a tiny bit, because I wanna like look at their opening what would you say, like where they go at the start, opening routes. Yeah, you can kind of like see the difference here. So matching goes like to the right of the zone. Okay, this is different than from my start, but it's the more aggressive start for sure. It might make sense since they don't really have a long range to transfer matching here. And if he goes to this side, then you know there's already like, you know, the long range slayers are already like in position here. So maybe they can like take a quick push and take the street. I think this is like good idea that they had here. And again, Hexen probably like ideas, he like inks their whole street really fast and gets the baller. And you see for Saikai, they have no one going to the right crates at all. So again, makes sense probably given their weapons, but it might also cost them somewhat, because now Hexen has pretty much free reign here. He has no like challenge here, because you know, of course, what he would have to deal with is potential flank or like someone dropping down from here. So that's definitely something to think about. Again, like you can see Machin working together, yeah, potentially with Penguin, with Sloshing Machine, and I think this is really good thing to do. You know, and you can see that STDx gets the first fight pretty fast. I think it makes sense considering the weapons and considering the opening positions. You can see like Brandon the last one there with Trislaughter and has armor now. It's actually pretty well played, especially if he gets it off, because now his teammates are up. But yeah, it's a bit late. You can see like their burst stick gets taken off pretty fast. And again, it's starting to already look pretty dangerous. Like I explained, STDx is really good at like inking the map really fast. And already like at the 50-point mark, they'd really have to start like using the special soon, which is, I believe they get the armor set off in the flank, which is pretty nice play, I'd say. But you know, the game has to change from time when armor set was really popular, and I think STDx is pretty good combat dealing with it. And again, it's a bit hard to tell what's going on since they keep showing matching only, but you know, even then, it's a pretty common thing that Rabbit do on this stage. He has reads to almost every corner of the map when he stands top mid. And yeah, like I explained, like get the first vibe off and you can see the whole map is STDx color, like they have no chance to get in. They have no long range, and yeah, the ink armor is there, but it's not gonna be enough necessarily. And Inkjet again is the best choice here, especially after patch, it's hard to tell. So you know, pretty dominant performance by STDx there. Not much else to say about that. Inkblot. Again, you can see like okay, so Flossing Machine, that's what I think is currently the best tower control weapon. I think so. And you see both teams running it again. Drop roller, okay, yeah, same things. H3 now. Okay, personally maybe it makes sense, because You can see like Hexen is still opting in for the L3, but it's pretty obvious at this point that the Hexen's like sole purpose is to ink the ground and get specials like Baller. Yeah, you can still like see him do some stuff with Baller like every now and then. Like you can still like see the Baller like, especially on this map, you can have the Baller, for example, have the ball come up from here. Yes, like a shortcut you can take to that flat, and then when the defenders are watching the right side where the tower comes from, you can see the Baller can like sneak in and like deal with the defensive lines. And yeah, necessarily like Saikai doesn't have the same kind of tool, but of course, like I also think like Penguin and Brandon are both really good sloshing machine players, and that is of course a huge factor in tower control, like I explained. Again, actually playing pretty aggressively here with L3. Definitely, this is also pretty good. Like, the difference with Aerospray with L3 is that it's much better at combat. It definitely can do a lot of damage with L3, and you can see like what I explained here before. The ball comes in when they push. He's just basically what he's doing there. He's just playing time. He's giving the other team time to push, and if they drop, he's gonna kill them. If not, then he gets a bunch of map control of the baller there. So I think it's pretty smart play, because if he pushes up too much, then what might happen is that they just kill the baller too fast and isn't really the full potential. And that's also something like, if you think about yourself playing baller, always keep in mind is that you definitely can play time with like that. It's a really good strat sometimes. Again, you see like matching gets picked off, which is always a bit like unfortunate when defending. I think Rabbit is so good at defending any kind of map for tower control, and seeing Rabbit gets taken out early is always a bit but risky. Okay, here you see the drop roller, but like okay, that I have to say that was pretty cool. Like, it would be cool if he got killed there, but okay. The reason why that works is that no one expects anyone to use drop roller, so I can see like the validity in that kind of cases, but honestly, like, how many times do you expect that to work? And it only works against Kyber, really. Kyber, or like maybe Penguin is probably positioned or something. Like some like matching, he has enough like spacing that he's just gonna like adjust his aim and kill you after the drop roll. But yeah, I don't know. It's pretty interesting to see. I'm definitely like excited to see all these like different abilities in use. Again, Shaq acting as like the spearhead here, but again, kind of like the same thing. Like, he's pushing forward, but his teammates aren't really on the same page at all. Like, his teammates are just getting destroyed in the middle. So it's kind of like, it just looks to me like huge miscoordination there. With Shaq is pushing ahead, and his team is kind of like not doing so well in team fight in middle. So that's like the main difference with STDx and Saikai, even in this map. Again, like, they don't really have the specials to prevent the push from being like made. You see, like, he used missiles, but it's not really like enough in itself. It's not like Stingray. Stingray is something that when you get Stingray off, that is usually is enough to stop a push in itself. But that's pretty much the only special right now that's like that. And the actual weapons they have aren't as good as dealing with the push. They have no rapid or nothing like that who could like safely from a safe position to get damage on the tower. And again, you can see the baller being used here. Like, yeah, it's pretty smart for stuff like that, for sure. And again, like, aside from like some pros making some godlike plays, it's not really like you don't really win by default. It's just kind of like, in some cases, if you run a comp like this, you have to be able to outplay them as well. If you want to play a brush for like every map, then you have to consistently be able to outplay them. It's not like there's some weapons that just work, like they just work in the role they're designed for. But I think brush is, like, especially now after the inkjet nerf, is really not one of those weapons. You just really have to put a lot of effort to make it work, I think. And you can see like the kind of role that she plays is not the kind that would ink a lot or nothing. So he definitely has a lot of like responsibility in getting kills in his role for the team, since you don't really see him play objective and you don't really see him ink. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting part of the comps Saikai runs currently. Yeah, you can see like here, one rapid. They don't quite know where he is, the timer is running out, one rapid behind tower, gets a lot of damage on tower, gets a bomb rush off. Like there's just no easy way for them to deal with the rabbit like that, and that was still in an accessible spot. Like this is still a spot where they can get to, but if the rabbit's like here, like in their base, like good luck dealing with that then with the weapons they have, unless you get like a lucky inkjet or like really good lucky inkjet or something. And again, like you can see, like it's pretty like devastating how much Saikai is getting outkilled at the moment, and yeah, personally, like the stingrays, I think what happened with that push, like one good thing to note about the push is that Brandon didn't get any kind of stingray off. I don't know the kind of build he's running exactly, if it's like special saver at all or special charge up or so on. But personally, what I do with Sosin Machine, I run a lot of special saver, which means I pretty much always have a stingray when the enemy makes a push, so we get at least one stingray off every time they push. So that's definitely like a huge factor in defending any kind of push. Try to find the next match. And now this is more like the kind of stage where I could see Saikai's comp work a bit better. Again, you see like here you can see Hexen switch to Spider Shot, and like I said, he can play a wide variety of weapons. And here I guess he thinks he doesn't need as much of inking power, so he opts for a more offensive presence. Send gear with T-Deck. Would this be Sufyan? I'm not sure. Like, okay, I can't like know every meme name in the world, so well, one of their players anyway. Playing T-Deck now, being sub to Bursty. So yeah, both of the Nozzle Noses are out of the game. Personally, I'm not a Nozzle Nose player, so I'm not like well versed whether this is a Nozzle Nose map or not, but evidently that's not the case. They take the early push to right, which is pretty interesting. Typically I like going pushing left, because that's really the game winning push. When you get the Rainmaker top left, you can shoot the Rainmaker forever and kill the enemies coming from spawn, and it's pretty much game over at that point. Pushing right can work, but it has to be a really fast push, which I don't think that was necessarily. Machine last one alive. Typically this like gets taken off pretty fast. They get the wipe, but again, like neither team right now has the kind of weapons to really get a super fast in control forward. It's more like more like focused on kills right now with both teams. And again, like Good Time pretty aggressive. He had the sting right there, but it didn't look like Saikai was gonna push, so maybe it was the right choice then. You can see like the map is is not inked as much now. That Hexen switch roles basically, which I don't think fits what the STDx is currently trying to do necessarily. With all the ninja squids and all the weapons they run, I think having a Hexen play weapon that inks really well, such as L3 or Air Spray, was really smart move. So I don't know. This was the best move to switch him off, because now in those kind of cases you can see more like the Tri-Slaughter and Brush and comps like that related to that do more damage when you so then they don't have the whole map thing as well. Yeah, you can see like Tricelos is really like destructive when it gets to the right positions. I think it's kind of like underrated at the moment, but it makes sense. Like people were kind of like bored of it, and then you have a nerf, and then you see under appreciated weapon after the nerf. Yeah, you can see like it's especially on this map. I think Tricelos is really good, and Brush too. Like honestly, the whole comp for is kind of like in Saikai's favor right now, I'd say. Because when it's a good like brush map, I'm sure like Chip can make it work really well. And kind of like now it's kind of like different. You see like Brandon play much more aggressive, much more like spearheading style, where he's really like pushing forward, and Chip too. You see like almost like behind the enemy lines there, ink chatting. But even like the Stingray is coming out now. I think Stingray, even Rainmaker, is really good at like stopping the push, and that's something I didn't see when they pushed. Again, now they're kind of just getting rolled. Like, like when I talk about the ink control and stuff, like it's really nice for them to have good ink control. It's really comfortable for STDx to play like that. And you know, like something like Ninja Squid, if you run it, that's 5 subs of swim speed, I believe, is needed to make it so that you don't lose any like speed, which is quite significant. So you have to make sure you get a lot of use out of it, especially if 3 players running it. And right now it's not the same kind of map control you saw in previous games. Okay, but on this stage, like on the snipe, like where you see the brush now, those are really good positions for both brush and bucket Tricelotter to work their magic, which is I think they are doing the whole game. But again, like personally, I think this is the worst route you can take the Rainmaker to. Like, and this is the only route that I saw both teams take the Rainmaker to, so that's not necessarily something I agree with. I think best route is take it to high ground to top left, but also through the snipe here, like dropping down. That's an instant lead almost, I think. But I didn't really see either team try it. And you know what kind of happens sometimes is that the Rainmaker pushes where the teammates are, but the teammates aren't really thinking like that. They're just going where the enemies are. So they don't like really making a deliberate effort to pushing where it's good to take the Rainmaker to. Instead, they're pushing where it's like somewhere they don't really think it that far ahead. And again, I think STDx might have like outkilled Saikai in that game, but again, like I don't think the objective play was a bit lacking maybe on both sides. And this time, Saikai getting a pretty similar win as in you saw on board, where they don't really necessarily hold control of the whole game, but they just get one like forceful push, and yeah, that was pretty much what I saw there. Yeah, we have fitness, Splatzone's final map. Okay, not any kind of like weapon changes, I don't believe. Okay, Hexen again, L3, makes sense. Especially for Splatzones, of course, would go a bowler. Like typically, like for Splatzones, I would give STDx the favor of almost every other team. They have much better understanding of the mode than most of the teams in the tournament, or like pretty much all the other tournaments in the team. And like stuff like, you know, Hexen's weapon choice is so a lot, like Hexen's playstyle, but also like, you know, even for the members and the whole team, you know, they have really good style for Splatzones at the moment, I think. And Asai guys, you know, even though like the double there, but it was more like most of the time, like I see like Saikai doing some really good plays. It's more like one good really individual play. It's not really like the team is necessarily like working together to get it. And here, like okay, STDx has the same thing too sometimes, but I think on average they get a lot more like team pushes and work together as a team to get really good plays off. and I don't think it's the same for Saikai. At least not as much. Pretty nice burst bomb kill by Kyber. Those are the kind of big stats wouldn't happen. Like honestly, that's wasted 10 seconds there. You died the burst bombs. Yeah, I know that position can get really tight, but basically that was almost a game-losing play there, dying to those burst bombs. So, and you see the inkjet like coming off like this pretty like solo play, isn't it? He's like using it like in the middle of nowhere. There's really like only Kyber there. Just going back and inking the ground, like really the inkjet got nothing done. I think they had more time to make a more coordinated push, and I don't think they did. And again, like I keep repeating myself, but you know the team plays are what I miss from Saikai in this grand final, and of course STDx very hard team to beat, and also plays well together as a team and has defined roles, and that's why I think they have succeeded in quite a few tournaments recently. Also came third in Platinum Cup, winning a team we lost to in the first round. So good results there with the same team. So that was the match. So pretty much summary was there at the end. Still pretty interesting game to see, and definitely interested to see where the both teams go from there. I'd just like to take a quick look at the weapon usage for top 8. So, let's see if I can see. Okay, hopefully it shows. I'll explain a bit. So I gathered the weapon usage for top 8. Basically 100% would mean that Splatter Shot was used 8 times in every map or something. So 20.8 is still a lot for Splatter Shot, but it makes sense. Splatter Shot 20.8, 10 deck 8.2. Well, it's an all-rounder for this game, so you know it makes sense that it will be forever quite popular. And Splashdown, of course, really good right now. Burstbomb's really good, so it's definitely a strong all-rounder right now. Fits many comps and pretty easy to pick up for anyone. Sloshing Machine, yeah. So Sloshing Machine, like I explained before, is pretty like unrivaled at the moment, for especially for tower control, but also for Rainmaker and also Spatzones. And again, pretty easy weapon to use. Like that's the main thing you get from like the most popular weapons. Are all pretty easy to use, but you know also effective, as you can see. Like top 8 still, if you see a weapon here, it's probably means it did at least some work. And one thing I want to like note, like Aerospray, only 1.6%. I think only Hexen played it for the top 8. It's pretty like surprising to me. It's pretty easy weapon to pick up, and you can watch my video on it if you wanna, you know, learn more about this particular topic. But yeah, I think that's about it what I want to say. And if you have any questions, leave me a comment. And if you have any feedback, same thing. And yeah, see you guys next time.